So now that you're all gathered here also, I know I was introduced as a stand-up, but there's also an ulterior motive for me being up here. I know it's a benefit, but it just seemed like this is also the opportunity for me to launch my campaign for the Senate. It seemed like a good idea, so I'm running for the Senate, everyone. It's not just because I look like, unemployed Benjamin Franklin. It's because I have a lot of ideas. And that's my platform. My platform is new ideas. Now, you may have heard that before, but there's a difference. I've decided that I don't care if they're good or bad ideas. So I'd like to share some of them with you. Again, it's very serendipitous. That's a nice big word for being here with this foundation, because they're here presenting ways to bring knowledge to our youth in ways that's relevant to them, ways that they can grasp and understand. And this is some resonance for me because I think we all remember at some point coming across in a math class of some sort, some geometry, right? And so there's a theory in it. It's called the Pythagorean theorem, because they really wanted to mess people up. They just couldn't call it measure triangles. But the theory goes like this. If you know any two sides of a triangle, you can figure out the third. So it's like a squared, b squared, c squared. And now, if you aren't going into the breakneck career of triangle measuring, that may not be of use to you. But the metaphor applies. And I realized this a week ago when I was thinking about the states. It turns out that there's a Pythagorean theory for Florida. And it goes like this. Broke, on drugs, and live in Florida. So what you do is you solve for C, you get any two of those, and the other is the solution. So, if you're broke, and you're in Florida, chances are you're on drugs. And if you're broke, and you're on drugs, at some point you will live in Florida. Now you may ask the question, how can this be of use to our nation's youth? It's quite simple. Anyone can become broke. And a lot of people just can't help it. They just have a predisposition to being addicted. But living in Florida is a choice. And it's a choice you don't have to make. So, Jim Beach, Senate 2016, thank you. That's plank one. That's plank one. Plank two may actually be useful, but I'll discuss it anyway. So, I'm unemployed. I was recently unemployed. I figured I had a little bit of a strange situation because I was working for a company, working for another company. I needed to straighten out who I'd file unemployment on. And I found out that California doesn't have any offices where you can go in and talk to anyone about unemployment. They just don't have any. What they do have is a phone that you can call and wait like I did for 7 hours on hold and have no one answer, which, let's be honest, is too much like work, really. I'm not in this to replicate work and not get paid. That's not what I want. So what I did was I looked up, I found this sort of quasi-public-private organization where you could go there and talk to someone about unemployment. I'm like, great. So I go there, I go to the office, and it's just filled with people. It's like 5 people back from the desk. People just like, give us a sandwich or something so we don't get some pitchforks, because we've got shits that we need to pay for. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not that bad yet. We'll see. I get all the way up to the front desk, and I'm like, look, I just want to talk to somebody about getting unemployment. I don't know what my situation is. And he's like, okay, well, go on that line there. And I look, and there's a line of people who have been sitting there for so long, they're all in chairs. And I'm like, what's that line? And he says, well, that's the line for the phone you can use to call unemployment. And I wasn't even mad. It was just so beautiful. But I was leaving the office, and then it occurred to me, how is it that the unemployment office is understaffed? They're the unemployment office. They already know who all the people are who are unemployed, and they're already paying them. So why don't they just hire half the people who are unemployed and put them on the phone? And then they can just tell everybody, yeah, you're shit out of luck, next. And you can just go through it, resolved and done. So that's plank 2. Thank you. That's the misshapen and actually potentially useful plank of my Senate campaign. Jim Beach, 2016. I don't have a state yet. Maybe if the guys in Northern California and Southern Oakland form a separate state, maybe I can convince them to go with me, but we'll see about that. They're just a little too proud of their pot up there, I think. But so, okay, the third and final plank is, I'm still working this out, but it goes like this. There's a problem with ideas sometimes, in that we want to have a good idea that appeals to the best in people, to make them do good things. That works sometimes, but sometimes what can work better is a bad idea that appeals to the worst in people to get them to do something good. You just gotta twist it. So this idea is based on this. There's a problem with endangered species. They're not the problem, they're being solved. The problem is that they're being hunted, and they're not even being hunted for food. A lot of them are being hunted because some guy wants to have a rhino head on his mantelpiece so he can feel like he's the man while he's raping people out of their stock options. So, can't do anything about the stock options, that's too practical. What I can do is solve this problem. Here's what you can do. Instead of having some safari where some guy can just go and be led to some animal, minding his own business, drinking out a watering hole, and come up behind him and murder him completely fairly with a machine gun, what you can do is instead have a safari where they pay a lot of money and they go to find the animal and they have to fuck it. That's impressive. That impresses me more than murdering an animal with a machine gun. You had to sneak up to it and you had to put your dick in that thing. That's fucking dangerous. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know if a hippo is going to notice, to be honest. So it's kind of like dating, you know. It's like, you know, you just keep putting yourself out there. 9 times nothing happens. The 10th time you get stomped to death. It's kind of, well, maybe a little similar. I don't know. So there you have that, and then he can come home and above his mantelpiece, he can display his condoms. Or if he didn't use condoms, then that's great too, because then we just get a bunch of more endangered species, right? We get a lot of nice human-animal hybrids to run around and they're protected. We are bringing about more endangered species into the world. See, thank you. All right, it's Jim Beach 2016. There's maybe, I don't have a website for that yet, and you know, I probably, honestly, 2016 probably won't happen. So maybe I'll just go ahead and do 2020. I don't know. But all right, well, that's my time. Thank you all very much, and once again, please get to the school. Great, the program rather. It's a great thing. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jim. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Jim, running for Senate 2016, ladies and gentlemen. Please remember to vote. All right. So, just in case you missed it or you just got here, this is the benefit for today's